people, the Gunman Instalive is kicking off, and today we have DKM Plush, lovable boxing promoter Danny Maclaren, and he's now going live with me. It's going to be really interesting to see what he has got to say. So if you're a fighter, someone looking for a new platform, quiz him about some good fights coming up, then get involved. Let's hopefully see if we can jump him on. Let's get the big guy on. Hey!
You're right, Wes. What's happening?
The big, lovable Danny Maclaren.
You must be running out of guests to get me on.
Right, it's been a pleasure to get you on, to be honest with you. I've been on at you for a few weeks, I must say.
Yeah. I don't normally Alan normally does this.
So listen, everyone's jumping in now. It's good to see a good audience coming on in. So today, for those that don't know, this is Danny Maclaren, who is the DKM boss of the DKM boxing promotion. We're here to do a live Q&A, so feel free to drop in some questions into the chat. Let's talk about events that are coming up. Let's talk about the super fights that we've got lined up. Let's talk about fights that you want to see, or even if you're just a fighter looking for a new platform, come and ask some questions. If you're a coach, come and ask some questions. And Danny will do the very best he can to answer them. So, Danny.
Wes.
Great to have you on. Absolute pleasure to have you on the Gunman Instant Live.
Thank you, Wes. Pleasure to be on.
Yeah, it's great, mate. It's absolutely fantastic. And what I wanted to ask is, how long has DKM been running for now?
The promotion,
yeah,
probably about 15 years.
15 years.
The boxing, I would say, well, my little girl's 12, 11 years.
Really?
So we first done the boxing 11 years ago.
Wow, that's a really good stint of work.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even get that time for doing armed robbery, so you've done well.
I know. I've lost my hair though, I've lost my hair because of it, but yeah.
There you go.
No, it's all good.
Absolutely fantastic.
It's all good.
So I wanted to chat with you first and foremost just about the benefits of white collar boxing. So for anyone who's like joining your show, why would you recommend it?
Well, my show, or white collar boxing.
White collar boxing.
White collar boxing, I think there's some people who are against white collar boxing, but there is a gap for it. I find if you don't want to be a pro, if you want to be if you don't want to be an amateur and take it, if you want to just do a bucket list fight, maybe a lot of people do it for that. It gives you a platform. If you want to get into boxing and see how you get on and see the benefits of it without committing to being an amateur or a pro, you can do that. And also, as white collar's grown now to level as it is a platform as well now where people can build up. If they've got admirations of going pro or doing bigger things in boxing, then it is a platform for them now to build up that fan base. Unless you're a unreal boxer, you have to sell tickets as pro. It's a bad sort of state of affairs in the pro boxing. So it gives everyone a chance to build up that platform. And you can win titles. You build up fans, build up like your profile. You get posters done, fight at good venues, and it gives people that opportunity. Do you know what I mean? To actually do stuff. And,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of people are too old for the amateurs. So if you're just jumping into the game, you're too old for the amateurs, and you can't just turn pro. Yeah. So white collar boxing really does fit that gap, and it's really.
If you are a youngster, I would say join the amateurs. If you're a kid, if you're like a teenager, I would say. But then it's what your environment is as well. Do you know what I mean? So if you've got if you ain't got a good amateur gym near you, or you ain't got the time to commit, this is a good way to get into boxing and see how you get on with it and how far you can take it, how good you are, how much you can commit to it, not commit to it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to just take a moment just to thank you guys personally myself, because I started boxing late. I had a few fights before COVID, had a break during COVID, and I came out of it and ended up fighting on your show. And for me personally, it gave me a platform to showcase my skills, for one, but for two, to fight at big venues. I fought at Clapham Grand. I fought in Heathrow with you. I was at the O2 main event at the O2 with you guys.
Yeah.
So, it gave me a platform and it gave me an opportunity to showcase my skills, fight on a big platform, and just generally improve my health, my mental health and my physical health.
Yeah.
And even now, I'm, still involved in boxing now, even though I finished fighting. So I think it's a really massively beneficial for anyone wanting to get into it. So if you are a new fighter, you are looking for a top platform to work with and to work on, that's going to look after you, good matchups, then this is definitely a platform.
No,
so Danny, you do the matchmaking.
Yeah.
How do you base your criteria for matchmaking? Obviously, age and
it's the obvious stuff first. It's the weight and the experience. They're the two. But then, obviously, the more you're in boxing, the more you can see fighters, and you get to see like, oh, he'd be a good match for him, even if someone's had 0 fights, someone's had 2. Someone's been in the gym for 5 years. This guy's had 2, he's been there 6 months. You can normally match. You can normally get a feel. You know what clubs they're at, how good coaching they're getting, how committed they are. We work with a very good, our sort of connections, our coaches that we work with. I would say they're some of the best out there. Like, they're truthful, they're honest. You don't really get many mess you about. You don't, and it's, the main thing is honesty. As long as coaches and that are honest with their fighters, just like telling us about their fighters, then it sort of makes our job 100 times easier.
Yeah.
So we've had it before with clubs that we don't work with anymore, where they'd say, "Oh, he's never fought before." Then I get sent footage of him fighting like 2 years ago, stuff like that. But I say we've got a very good connection, now with everyone that we work with and all that.
Yeah.
So, and I like to think we work with some of the best out there now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good, and we're meeting new people all the time, getting new people as well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So, listen, I see you run sparring days.
Yeah.
Now, listen, if I was going to one of your sparring days, I'm going to take one arm with me, and maybe just one foot, and not look so good. How do you overcome that? Surely you know that's going on.
Yeah, that's going on with certain. You can normally tell, but also, you don't just base it on that. Normally, you've seen a video of them before, and sometimes you try and get to the gym and just see them in their own sort of environment. Like, they don't. Some fighters, obviously know all the coaches, but the fighters might not know who I am. So I can turn up at a gym and watch some sparring and think, "Oh, look, that's him," but they don't know it's me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
all right.
I can get away with it. Yeah.
Yeah, you just got kind of roll undercover.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah. Well, guys jumping in, please put your questions in. I'm going to fire them off to Danny. So I've got, how big can the DKM product be, and where do you want to take it? Mark Vinola.
It can be as big as we want it to be, as big as we grow it to be. We've just got to continue working with the right people. And there's 3 or 4 good promotions out there as well that I could recommend and say, like, we're all sort of growing together. We're sort of do you know what? If you're doing stuff right, you'll always get the good fighters. They'll come between you and a couple other platforms, and you mix it up. And as long as you get on with people and you work with people, you can all grow together. And it can be, do you know what? It's never going to be Misfits. I wouldn't get that. It was never going to be Matchroom, but in our sort of platform, it can be as good as anything, I think. So yeah, I think for this platform, it can be as big as anything, as good as anything out there. So yeah.
We've got Kevin saying, who's the most exciting boxer that you've worked with?
Oh, there's a few. There's loads of except Wesley Brown is one.
There's a good man.
Yeah, no, there's
Mate, I was easy to work with. I fight anyone,
yeah.
and then
Of course.
I make you a load of money.
And that's what it's. Do you know what? When fighters want to fight anyone, there's a few. Do you know what I mean? There's a few that don't really back away from fighters, and they'll fight anyone. And that may. I mean, at the moment, I could probably give you 10 to 20 names. Do you know what I mean? Like Conor Gilly as well. Like he will fight anyone. He won that belt last time. Called out Pierre Strutt, who's like unbeaten as well. People like him. He's a go forward fighter. He's very exciting.
Yeah.
Your old rival George, very exciting. There's loads. Nate Hines was very exciting. He'd come with an unorthodox style, and he'd always be in a good fight. Yeah. There's loads.
Yeah.
There is actually loads.
It's hard to single out.
Yeah.
One. Yeah.
We've had hundreds of fighters, but there's still more to come. Like I say, exciting fighters. You see the fights coming up and new fight. There's people like Kai and Will. I've just seen Kai comment. So they've only had one fight on our platform. So after they've had 2 or 3, they could be the most exciting. I mean, you saw what Kai done at the O2 last time against Jasper. So that was exciting. And bro, I watched his documentary and the way he listened to his coach and done that. But
brilliant.
Yeah, you got Kane Colby. He'll always be exciting show. But Johnny Phillips as well. I can't wait to see Johnny Phillips on the show because he's going to be. Yeah. There's so many. Yeah. There's so many.
Too many. Yeah. We've got Nathan Hind saying white collar is a platform for any combat sports athlete to grow their brand and build a career, but it's important to find a good show like DKM's.
I appreciate it. But Nate's one as well. He's went on to like other stuff now, like, and he's doing really well at it and all that. And it shows. He fought on my show, he fought on a few other shows, and now he's built himself up. He's got a good fan base, and he's now doing really well in bare knuckle, really well. We'll see him back one day, and I think we will. But at the moment, he's doing his bare knuckle, and he's doing really well at it. I thought he got in the top 5 rankings, stuff like that, and it just really good seeing that, like ex-fighters like Nate on our shows doing like so well. And you got others like Josh Sari who fought on the same show as you at the O2. Yeah, he's gone amateur now, and he's going to have a really good amateur career. And I'm sure after this next year of shows, I'd say I could probably name you 5 or 6 that I think will end up going pro. And that'll be exciting to watch them go pro, and obviously we'll all support them. Yourself included, won't you? Like we'll all get behind them and all that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm since I've stopped boxing in last April was my last bout, as you know, at your show at the O2. And since then, I track fighters, I research fighters. I know the roster better than most. I know the DKM roster better than you sometimes. So I know the roster well, and I enjoy like learning about fighters and sharing their experiences. And
I enjoyed your top 10 as well, and it was a good top 10.
Yeah, let's talk about the top 10 actually. So I did a pound for pound top 10 list for DKM, and I'm going to put this to everyone straight away that none of my fighters have lost yet. Okay, right? Because I'd had people saying, the pound for pound list is
since you've done the list,
exactly. So none of my boys have lost yet. I know there was a few queries. I got a few people calling me out on my list, but when I asked them to send me a list back, I never heard anything. But I'm going to get straight to it. So I had like Adam Smith as 10, and I had Maximilian. I think I had him as 9, and that got a lot of people's backs up saying that he shouldn't have been on the list. And I actually put him on the list just ahead of Slick Rick. I couldn't decide on the 2, and I did go on Max because of the activity.
See, Max, since you've been fighting, Max has had 2 fights. For me, Slick's had about 3 or 4, and he's always won. I think Max is
different weights as well.
Yeah.
So it was hard for me not to put him on. You can only get 10 fighters on.
It's hard to do, isn't it? It's so hard. Obviously, you got Kane Colby, MMM, Triple M. People like that, they're always going to be there.
Yeah, that was my top 3
in the country that way. Then you got a few more, like Jamie Porter. He's unbeaten on ours. Do you know what I mean? People like Jamie. Kai Christie's flying Kane. Pierre's not lost. Connor's not lost.
Yeah, Connor wasn't on my list, but only because he's still, for me, needed a bit more experience, but he's gaining it really quickly. I think if he beats Strutt, who is on my list, then he deserves his place on my 2024 list. But my top three, for anyone who didn't see my list, I had Corby as number one, I had Triple M as number two, and number three, I had Pretty Boy George, who's now retired.
So I'd like to see you do a list at the end of this year and see like who would be in there. Kai Ford would be in it. Will Night Long. I think was Will in yours?
Yeah, he was fourth.
Yeah,
but I couldn't have him any higher. He hadn't fought regularly.
He's only had one fight. Yeah.
I know. We can't listen. I said to some of the boys that when I've spoken on interviews that you can't do the pound for pound list in the same way that you can do it for pro boxing because you got to look at who's active. If someone hasn't fought for 2 years, they can't be on the pound for pound list. If someone's not on fighting on the shows, I can't put them on. And then I also had to put people. I put Garfield on, who probably got a bit of a mixed record, but no one complained because he's an absolute warrior. Fights absolutely anybody.
He's been in the best fight.
He fights absolutely anybody. The guy can fight. Yeah. You know, no one. He's not a pushover for anyone. He's a great, charismatic guy, lovely guy. All those things come in. I know it's not sports personality of the year, but for me, I wanted to put him in.
Fault on that show, he pulled out. You had Dylan and Slick and Ibby and John Smythe. Just one of them wins could have put one of them fighters in there. Do you know what I mean with you? Do you know what I mean? It's so close.
Is there anyone you disagreed with on my list, if you remember back? Is there anyone that you would have swapped out and put in?
I can't really remember the whole thing, but I think Maximilian and Slick Rick, I think that's a fight we'd have to see to get who in there. Because
agreed.
Max has had two with Kieran. And I would like Max to fight someone else now, just to cement his place. Do you know what I mean? And,
he needs it.
Yeah, I think. Who was Kai Christie in your list?
No, he didn't make my list. He's an absolute puncher.
He's one fight away.
He's a really good puncher, and he impresses me.
Jamie Porter.
Yeah, Porter's on my list. So I'm a fan. I'm a Porter fan. I really like his style. Spiteful puncher. Good experienced head on young shoulders. You know, I think he's got something nice there, Porter.
I like Siami was in your list.
Yeah, he's another one of my favourites.
He's a good one. He's quite fresh, quite new. He's won every fight in convincing style, and he's looked really good.
He's looked really good. Yeah, mate, get me excited. I can't wait to see these guys out again. I absolutely love it. So
we've got a good fight now.
What fighters would you like to see? Sorry, I should say, what fight would you like to see this year?
New fighter.
I'll let you answer it however you want.
I'll give you a little scoop here. There's a fighter coming out. He's never fought before. He'll be fighting. We're just doing a show June the 1st. It's a dinner show, and his initials are AT. He's making his debut. It's going to be very exciting to see. It's a little scoop.
Is this as an AT?
Yeah. Everyone should know it.
Is that the best Is that the best you can give me?
Yeah, he probably shouldn't be fighting, to be honest.
Yeah.
But he's doing it. He's Alan Thorogood's making his debut this summer.
Really? No.
Get
out of here.
No, yeah.
Really?
So he's in training now. So we're going to put him on in June. Reckons he can sell a ticket. We'll see.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's absolutely amazing.
So, yeah.
Do you find it frustrating that? Do you find it frustrating that fighters move around shows and you can't sign them exclusively?
I do and I don't, because I think you should fight in different. I hate when promotions try and take a fighter, because unless you're paying a fighter, you shouldn't try and take him all for yourself. Do you know what I mean? They should be open. I do think if you win a belt or you're in a position where you should have to defend it on that show, or you should go back to the show, but I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think they should be exclusive. No, not unless you're getting paid by them. And there is some companies that do that, want to put you on contract. If you win a fight, or you've got to fight here if we give you this fight, which I do think, but I think it should be planned out well. So they should say, "Oh, when are your dates?" And then we'll go to another one. Like, what's your dates? Because to be honest, there's probably 4 promotions that I trust and recommend. Do you know what I mean? There's not that many where these fighters, they could get hurt, they're going on a bad show without the right doctors there, stuff like that. So we've also got like to look after the fighters away and sort of say, I wouldn't do that show, but there's this show at that date. Do you know what I mean? So or get totally mismatched on some shows. You've seen it before, you've been about in these shows. So you've also got you can't control the fighters, but you can recommend, like strongly recommend. Some will listen, some won't. But yeah, it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I do think they should have a mix of promotions, then they can see the different promotions. And like I say, I wouldn't ever. And one promotion don't do enough shows to keep someone busy, and it gets boring. If you're just on one promotion the whole time, you get bored, especially if they use the same venue, the same. We're lucky, we mix our venues. We've got 4 or 5 venues that we mix it up. And like you fought on 3 different venues, didn't you? In 3 fights.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you mix it up. It's quite nice. Venue for Forder versus Will.
All right, we're going to do it this summer. They both got a little fight in between. They both got to win them fights. They're not easy fights for either. I think Will's got the rematch. And Will might even be fighting February as well. And Kai's got Zach. And Zach, people may underestimate him. He'll throw everything at Kai.
Bit too small for Kai, or
he's still 6'2", Zach. Like, I think he is anyway. Like, he's still big size, but Kai is big. Like, Kai is tall, but
he's coming off a big loss.
He is,
and
he's stronger at
he's a
and
wounded animal, and he wants
yeah, don't get me wrong, Kai is favourite.
Kai's favourite. Forder can't take him lightly though, and I'm sure he won't.
But I remember before I had this heavyweight, and his opponent, he was at the Clapham Grand about 6 years ago, and Zach hadn't been training. He was like put on weight, he was heavyweight, and gets this big Eastern European bloke, and I was like, Zach's like, I'll step in. I went, no, Zach, you know what? Zach turned up 2 days' notice and beat him, and I thought, he'll have a go. So he'll have a go. Do you know what I mean? So Zach will come in there, and I think Zach's training hard as well. And
he knows he's an underdog.
He knows he's Kai looking past him already. Is Kai looking at the Will Knight long? You know what I mean? Already, you don't know.
That's one thing that can always happen. And the other thing is, it's heavyweight boxing. It only takes one shot.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Let's have a look at what other questions we've got on here. DKM, best platform on the white collar scene, the Madman Boxing. Big up. Who's the main event on Feb 9th? AMSX Seal. Who's the main event on Feb 9th? So Jordan, Gale, and Luke Worley is off.
Yes.
Give us an inkling into a new opponent for Jordan.
Jordan's got a new opponent being announced probably this weekend. Can you
give us
we've whittled it.
Can you give us some initials?
It's an influencer. There's still 2 or 3 to choose from.
Right.
We're narrowing it down. We've got to work out what's best for Jordan, because he's had a mixed camp with obviously the situation with Luke. He ain't been able to have a proper camp, and he stopped training, never knew what was happening. But what I would say in all this, Jordan's been a model pro. He has literally started training in December in Sheffield with Glyn Rhodes, one of the best in the country, and he's done everything with us. He's been brilliant. He's played the game and he's ready to fight. You know what I mean? So he will come and he'll put on a show, and I think if Jordan does well on this, I think he could have a future, an opportunity with Misfits or a big platform. So he's got to get his head down and do well here.
And why, in your opinion, did Luke Worley pull out?
Do you know what? It's awkward. I'd love to come and just tell everyone, but it's with sort of a legal team at the moment because what he said. But put it this way, it's you can't control people and what they do. Do you know what I mean? So
the rumours had it. I mean, the rumours had it from social media. I mean, I'm living on this thing at the minute. My eyes are turning square. I'm on Instagram so bloody much every night doing his lives. But you know, he was obviously you know, fully involved in a lot of commitments. From what I could see, it was fully involved in a lot of commitments, and even I think with our live, perhaps he underestimated five round fight. Even when I had a live debate,
5-2 is a lot for everyone. But if you
for your first fight, that's a lot.
It was a proper training camp. But do you know what? If someone don't step in a boxing gym, January the 1st, hadn't stepped foot in a boxing gym. 4 weeks later, you can do all the cardio in the world, but if you're fighting 4 weeks later, we've got an aspect of care to the fighters, and even more so when all the eyes are on you. So when you've got all the eyes, we've got to get a license, which we've been told we wouldn't get license. We've the medical team, everything. He wouldn't get 3-2s. He wouldn't 5-2s. It wouldn't have been sanctioned.
No, I mean, so first fight 5-2s is a lot, and you know, you really need 10 to 12 week training camp. I think if you're first time fighter,
an 8-week intensive, you could get by if you're both on the same level. You both fight at the same level.
Be tight.
Yeah, it'd be tight, but both on the same. But can you imagine, like, all the eyes are on us more than normal because of this fight? Yeah, so everyone's. But can you imagine getting someone who's done 2 weeks training or 2 sessions and they get in there and they don't know how to block, they don't know how to throw a jab properly? It could have ended badly, and Jordan's putting in the work. As I say, Jordan's been training with one of the best in the country. So, can you imagine like him coming in with someone who ain't trained, who ain't fit, and who might be there for the wrong reasons? Do you know what I mean? We've got a duty of care for every fighter.
Yeah, safety is absolutely paramount in boxing, in my opinion, and I hate to see bad matchups. I hate to see people.
And that's what it would have looked like.
Yeah, I've seen people. I know people that have signed up to white collar matches, and they're on the beer during camp, and they're blowing after a minute in the fight, and they're just not taking it seriously. And I never understand why you would take any fight and not take it seriously. I never understand that.
And I know white collar boxers, they are on the beers. They are. They do a medical on the day, and we always speak to their coach as a duty of care. The coaches that we work with, they'll pull them out if they ain't trained like that. But we were the duty of care here, and if something had happened to someone in the ring because they ain't trained, and I know the other person is trained, who's got to live with that? It's ourselves putting it on. It's the guy who has trained, even though he's done nothing wrong, he's just trained. So so it will come out. Everything will come out properly. But at the moment, it's going a bit legal and all that. That's why Alan can't be here and stuff like that. So,
no, understood. So,
but our statement, what we made is fact, and everyone will see it eventually anyway. So
no, wonderful.
I'm not slagging anyone off, but some people don't realise. People think they can play boxing, and you know the circumstance, what can happen, and I've seen it. And there's people about now that we can see what can happen if there's a mismatch or if something goes wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. You can't muck around. What I was going to say is, I've got one more question here. Well, not a question. It's actually the DKM roster is getting bigger and better, and I just wanted to talk about the shows we've got coming up on DKM, and I am absolutely buzzing for some of these fights that are coming up. And I have to start on the Feb 9th show, which we just spoke about. The fight I am most looking forward to is Triple M versus Jay Malley. You've got two guys with a very similar style. They both don't give a fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
And they come forward, they look to bang you out.
Yeah,
and
100%.
Both fight the same way, not a step backwards often. They both throw high volume. They're both fit as fiddles. I mean, that is going to be a war of attrition. What's the fight you're looking forward to most on that?
That is probably going to be the best fight. they're two of the best in the country. I was really lucky to get that fight. Everyone wanted that fight, and we've done a deal with it. So you'll see one of the boys, at least one of them, in the pro ranks. I think they both do really well as pros as well. These two.
Oh yeah,
I've never watched Jay Malley live. Obviously, he's from up Coventry, so I've never seen him. So I'm excited to see him. I've had loads of people's opinions on the pair of them who have been in the ring with both and stuff like that, and no one's got near Triple M. No one's got near him like down here on any platform. So
I think Seb Hallett gave him a good fight, but like, listen, he's winning comfortably. Huh?
He did give MMM a decent fight, but MMM's sort of the away fighter there as well. Do you know what I mean? But this is a 50-50 with these two, and like, I'm just excited to see it. I don't know what's going to happen. They're doing 5-3. They're doing 3-minute rounds, 5 rounds. Yeah. So that could really drag on. Like, I don't think either of them's done that long before. So no one knows what's going to happen in the future.
I would not want to make a prediction. To
no, I know.
Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't want. I would. If I was a betting man, I'll be keeping my wallet as tight. I'll be zipping it up into the pocket.
Yeah, 100%. There's loads of good fights on there.
Yeah, the Porter fight against
that's a great fight as well. Like Jamie's another one that's beat everyone, and he's now coming up against someone on his level that is as good. He's trains with Jay as well, Jay Malley.
Yeah, and Jay, I've interviewed Jay Malley on my live, and he rates this kid. Yeah, and I've seen this kid box in snippets. I've not seen like full fights. I've seen bits of him, and he can bang. He's a southpaw as well. Yeah. Great backhand. He's going to give Porter some trouble, and I think Porter's. 100%. I'd love to see Porter tested now. But I mean that's a mouth-watering fight. That one. I think that's a
big test for MMM and Porter, but I'd never bet against any of them top fighters against anyone. To be honest,
no, absolutely not.
Kieran Johnson, Adam Smith, Danny North. I wouldn't back against any of them.
Yeah, I'm going to that gym next week. Yeah, they're all capable. Yeah. They're all capable. I'm going to that gym next week. I'm going to film a documentary. I was going to do a few rounds with him. I'm starting to back out now.
Yeah, I would.
Now you're talking about
that. Yeah.
Why am I doing that? Why am I doing that? No. There's got to be easier ways to get some content.
100%.
But so people in the live, please pop some questions in. We're going to be doing an awards very shortly. We're going to be awarding DKM Fighter of the Year, and then we're going to also award DKM Plush Boxing Coach of the Year. And the awards will be announced tonight, but the awards will be given out, I believe, at the next show. But fire in your questions to the big man, and we'll get them answered. One question I want to ask, and I want people to actually put their answer in the box at the bottom, is what does the K stand for in DKM Plush Boxing? So you've got DKM Plush Boxing. What does the K stand for? It's clearly Danny's middle name, so you can't win it if you're family. If your surname's Maclaren. Yeah. So put in what you think it stands for. Try and keep it civil. So, right. Connor is saying, when will Dangerous Danny be making his return?
Ignore him. I'm waiting for Connor's return. Like, Connor, he ain't fought since the amateurs. He needs to make a return. Yeah. So I've had my day.
So how many fights
you know what?
have you had?
Kenneth or Keith. I wouldn't speak to my parents if they called me Kenneth or Keith.
How many fights have you had, Dan?
I had about 3, 4.
Whitecollar?
Training. I weren't a very good trainer. I'm lazy. Do you know what I mean? So I've done an exhibition with Tim Witherspoon last time. But do you know what? I keep saying I'll have one this year. Do you know what I mean? So if I get fit, it all depends if I have the time to get fit. It's hard with kids and that. If I have time to get fit, I will. You know, some other heavyweight. If Alan's getting fit to do it, I could join him then, couldn't I? Do you know what I mean? It's no excuse then.
That's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, what about you versus Alan? He wins.
I'm not saying, but Alan's picked his own battle, and he's better than me, the guy. So yeah.
Has he?
Yeah.
Who's he fighting? You allowed to announce it yet?
We don't know yet. There might be an ex-pro.
All right, you don't have to. You don't have to. All right, okay. So let's start talking about Fighter of the Year. So, Fighter of the Year.
When finished talking about February the night? March the 24th.
Oh, how can I do that? March the 23rd, isn't it? Or 24th? 24th. That is a cracking show. 2 brilliant fights. Which fight are you most excited about? I think it's going to obviously be between Gilly and Strut.
They're both brilliant fights.
Colby and Christie. I mean, they're 2.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I was so excited before about Kane Colby and Johnny Phillips. Never happened, unfortunately. Hopefully it will happen in the summer, but here with Kai's a great fighter. He's very underestimated as well. That's going to be a great fight with Kane. Kane, I think, is just an elite fighter. I think he's sort of wasted this level. After the summer, he's got to go pro. He's that good. But someone like Kai beats him. And Kai's got something to say about that then, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? Kai will be the one. But Connor as well.
He's saying me versus Ivy, March 24th. Guy Forder. I'll tell you what, let's talk about fights that we want to see, okay? I'm going to tell you fights I wouldn't mind seeing, you know? Like, listen, for me, I'm speaking as a fan. There's no opinion on this. It's just fights I'd like to see. Got to see Dylan Bishop versus Slick Rick, I think. That has to happen. When that got announced, that fight got announced, I was actually buzzing for that one. I think I was meant to be on the commentary, and I'm already getting excited, and then it gets pulled away from me.
That's a very good fight, that is.
Yeah. Very good fight. Or I'd like to see Maximilian against any of those 3 need to be forward for shootout, really, didn't they? 100%. That's what I want to see. A Maximilian, Bishop, Slick Rick shootout. Who's the number 1 type thing? That's what I'd love. Do you know what I'm really impressed?
Fighting at the Grand as well, Clapham Grand, where it's all on top of the atmosphere. He's fought there before on another promotion, Mac, but I like seeing him there. And just see, I think he's a Chelsea boy, Max, as well. So it'd be good to get him there against one of them guys as well. So
that'd be good. Do you know what I'm really impressed with, actually? Just beat Kieran Johnson. I can never pronounce his surname.
Chris Tispione, Yeah,
he's going to probably be upset with me because I probably pronounce it wrong all the time on the commentary.
He's a very good fighter.
He's a lovely fighter. I wouldn't mind seeing him personally.
Do you know what? He was supposed to be February the 9th, but he's picked up an injury. I'd like to see him maybe the winner of Pierre.
Yes, I was just going to say that. Yeah, that's
a very good fight.
Yeah,
very good.
I think he's got to take the winner of that. Would be great.
Or Dean Amissiani, he could fight him. Dean. Yeah. So.
Is Dean not a bit too big for him?
They can meet about 70 kg. I think Dean got down to 71 last time, and Chris would be no problem being 70. He was 68 and he drops down.
Be good.
So we could do that.
Is Dean? Mate, that's exciting, isn't it?
There's a lot of good fights. There's a lot. Ibby and John Smythe, right? I really was looking forward to that. And on paper, Ibby would be the favourite for that, quite clear. But there's something John wanted it. He sort of wanted it for revenge for Scott, and I was just excited to see what happened. Because John's tough. John's tough. I think
he's good, and I think he's really underrated. I think his work rate is phenomenal.
Yeah,
for a big guy, his work rate is phenomenal.
Yeah. So it's little tasty ones like that. Obviously, Colin Will's a massive fight. It's Connor and Pierre's unreal fight. With Kane, with Kai, then the winner of that with Johnny Phillips. There's so many. I mean, if you could put Jamie and Salah together, do you know, MMM and Jamie, but there's so many good fights you could make.
But they're in the same gym.
Yeah, I know, you couldn't put them together. Kieran Johnson, they've got about 5 fighters, all that.
Yeah, I mean,
all put together. Such a good fighter.
Kieran Johnson, I mean, how that guy hasn't won a title, it's only a matter of time. He's like, strap season's around the corner for him.
What I about it, they all take
he's
good
only
fights.
lost to very good fighters, you know, and so I think he'll start picking up straps soon. That whole gym has got
take very good
champions.
fights. Yeah, 100%.
Mm.
Teddy Connolly, Harry Brett on September 9th. That's going to be a very good fight.
Yeah, that's good.
That's going to be a very good fight.
Let's talk. I've got to talk robberies actually, because I'll be honest, you don't see too many.
You've been robbed on my shows, yeah.
No, I don't understand. I don't see too many people robbed on your shows.
No.
And we've had this discussion before about why is it the only sport where we don't know the score while the match is going on, and not even the participants know the score while the match is going on? With football and cricket and rugby, you can look at the TV and you can see the score. With boxing, no one's got a clue who's winning. And we've talked about putting scores up at the end of the round. That'd be amazing, I think, personally. Yeah. I know in a long form fight it'd be a problem, but I think in the short term fight, so you've got a 3-round fight or a 5-round fight, and it goes up, right, that guy's won that round and that guy's won that round. I think it's open scoring, just brilliant, because then that way there's no robberies. You can't rob anyone. You know? But
there's arguments though. Imagine like the judges put up a bad score in the first round, and the whole place booing. Is that going to put in their head, oh no, we need to sort this out next round and give it to the other guy? Yeah, he's got all the fans here.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Do you ever think it's worth trialing? No, I always think it's worth. I'd be up if we had enough coaches and that say, let's give it a go for one show. Why don't we put it on and just see if it works? I mean, if the fighters agreed, or even certain fights, and we could just throw it on one show, it might flop and it might work. If it works, it'll be revolutionary. Do you know? They might try it elsewhere. So if it flops,
so what does the K stand for in DKM then?
Boring, Kevin. It's not killer or anything like that. It's just Kevin, mate. Not Kenneth or Keith.
That's not too bad, though. It's not too bad. It could have been worse. Could have been
a lot worse. Yeah,
it could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse. Okay, let's talk Fighter of the Year. Fighter of the Year. Who should be the Fighter of the Year? There's so many options.
We all had differences of opinion here, didn't we? Because there is loads. Do you know what I mean? We've got guys that's had one fight, and we've got guys that's had 3, 4 fights. But for me, he's been in every fight, 4 fights, been on every show, and he's had tough opponents. Like, he was on your one at the O2, he was on the second one at the O2, and he's fought 4 really good guys. And he's stepping up now, and it's Conor Gilly. Do you know what I mean? I think he's took the fights, and he saw Pierre with the white belt after the last show and said, I wanted that one. I went, well, Pierre's got it. And he's like, all right, that's my next fight. I mean, he's been against Ignis, who's a really good fighter. Kieran Johnson, really good fighter. JR, really good fighter. He's been in 4 really good fights. I forget the other one. But he ain't had no easy fights. Yeah. I mean, there is other fighters that's won all their fights. I mean, Kay Corby's won 3, like Salah's won 3, Jamie Porter's won 3, but he has, for Conor, he was a new fighter. He's had 4 fights this year, and he's won against good opponents. He ain't fought just journeymen or people like that. He's been in with the best. So yeah.
Fight of the Year 2023 is Conor Gilly from Hurricane Gym. So he'll pick up a nice award then at the next show, I believe.
Yeah.
But that's. I don't think many people can grumble with that. I mean, there's always people going.
There's loads of good choices. There's loads of good choices.
I think that's a good shout. He's had 4 good fights. He's been all within 12 months.
He's been active as well. That's the thing. When someone's that active and he's got 100%, you can't really argue with him.
No. And picked up 2 straps on the route. The Kieran Johnson fight won Fight of the Night, didn't it?
Fight of the Night as well, that did,
Yeah, so look, he's not avoided anyone. He's another one that I'm a big fan of, Gilly. I've been a big fan of his as well. Because again, a bit like Porter, he's a young lad, but he's got a good team around him.
Yeah,
and
he'll do well.
Both of them have wise heads on young shoulders, you know.
And no matter what happens with Pierre fight, if he wins or loses, I can see Conor being an amateur next year. and end up being a pro in a couple of years if he carries on. I know he trains like a beast and everything. So if he just keeps, and he's so young, still, he's so young.
That's what I mean. Yeah, he's young. Yeah, he's young, but he doesn't box like a young kid, because a young kid's holding his breath and throwing every shot 100.
And he's got a great fan base
picks
as
his
well.
shots
Like,
up.
his fan base is something else. Like down in Fleet, there they all like support him, comes to watch his fights, and I know they'll take the roof off as well when we're at Clapham Grand as well on March 24th, like with Pierre. His crowd will be there for him, and they'll go crazy. He's sort of like got everything going for him at the moment.
Agreed.
So
yeah, absolutely agreed. Yeah, and it's great to see. It's good to see. It's really good to see him doing well.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Coach of the Year. So I really love these awards, Coach of the Year, because coaches do not win belts. Yet the lives of the fighter are in their hands. They're so trusted. These guys often work for very little money or for free, and they're the first in the gym and they're the last out, and they don't pick up anything a lot of the time. So who's your Coach of the Year? What was the options from, and who did you go with?
Do you know what? We're lucky. We've got so many good coaches. Like so many. Like say Connor's coach Darren. You got Steve Walsh, Sheffield Park, who's got some great fighters and does really well. Dennis Ricketts and Miguel's, and Chance with Intin. There's so many. I could go Rich at Marshall Fitness, even Tristan down, Mill at 12 rounds. There's loads, but one for me this year, who really, he's had a lot of fighters out, and I know he's going to have a lot this year. Yeah. But for me, at the O2, he had 6 wins out of 7, and one he lost was fight of the night. And then at the Kingston show, he had another unbeaten night.
Yeah.
It's Mark, Top Dog. And you'll see it next week down there. I think when I tallied up the win record, he did something stupid this year.
Was it?
So, yeah, but I know there's a lot of clubs now out to get him.
Top Dog are a wanted club, aren't they now? Because they've got
belts between them as well. To be fair, so people are after them now.
Yeah,
and have you been down to their gym yet?
Well, I'm going next Thursday. I'm going to go and do a bit of a tour of the gym. I'm hoping to do pads with Mark Fitch myself.
Have you been there yet?
No, I'm going to go next Thursday. I'm going next week, but I'm hoping to go there. I might spar a few of the boys as well, let them beat me up. I'll be blowing after like a minute.
If it's full down there, you wait till you go down there. Like, it's quite intimidating. It's sort of like, when Rocky trains with Apollo and he goes to that gym in is it California or something, or Philadelphia? He goes to his gym and he's like all intimidated in there, and it's quite like that. Everyone's on top of you, everyone's training hard. They'll look at you as you come in.
I've not been there, but I know they're going to kick my ass next week because I've done I don't think I've sparred since like 9.
I'd advise against you sparring with them boys. Yeah.
What's that?
I'd advise against you sparring with them.
That was a silly idea, wasn't it?
Say that. Most of them are lightweight, so you should be all right, mate.
Yeah, they're only little, man.
Yeah, don't say that then.
I'll say that when I'm on the side of the camera. You know what I mean? But the thing is I'll probably do a couple of rounds with them and stuff like that. But the worst thing is that they've all got like super fights.
Yeah,
all within the next 4 weeks from when I'm there, so they're all going to be like trim and proper. And Gunman's going to rock up.
He's going to be looking at mode, want to take your head off.
But I'm going to be more like, rather than Gunman, I'll be more like Water Pistol. Do you know what I mean? But mate, it's going to be good fun anyway. And
no, it will. When you're doing that, what day?
I'm really looking forward to it. So Mark Fitch is your coach. Is your Coach of the Year?
100% this year.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad shout at all. I don't think anyone can grumble with that at all.
Nah, he's had a good year. He had a very good year with his fighters.
Yeah,
there's more coming this year as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely.
He's got 4 out in February, and he's probably going to have 5 or 6 out in March as well. So
that's amazing.
Very good.
Yeah. So have we got any other shows towards the back end of the year or not booked up yet that you're thinking about doing?
We'll have June the 1st. We're announcing that hopefully next few days.
Ooh.
So we got March the 24th is after the February show at the Clapham Grand. Be good to
June 1st. Just give us some initials. Where's it going to be?
And he'll be on that. Then you've got like super fights. I think we've announced 2 or 3 of them already. Then we've got Dean Amusiam. I've got to put it to his team before I announce it, but we got offered a good one for him today, so that'll be a great fight as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I know there's
offered a fight for him.
Yeah.
The fight everyone wants to see is Harding with him.
Jack, I'm hoping Jack makes a comeback this year. He's due a comeback.
Harding.
I want Pete Madonna to make a comeback on our level, but he's gone amateur now. Old Pete, he'd be good to come back. And I tell you what, we've got Mitchell Preedy coming back on our shows. He was a pro boxer, Mitchell. He's an exciting fighter. He's going to come on him. So that's in March. June, we'll do June. We're going to do an open air one, maybe 2 in the summer.
Oh, amazing.
Hopefully one at Kingston. Zach Forbes combat. I'd like to see Zach Keone as well. He's going to be out in March.
Yeah, Keone's out in March, is he?
Yeah.
Who's Keone fighting?
I'd love to see Zach and Kane back. They were 2 great fighters. A bit before you were watching, Wes, but they were 2 really good fighters from Martial Fitness in Putney, where Keone trains.
Yeah, sorry. Who's Keone fighting in March?
Don't know yet. We only confirmed it today. Basically, he's been looking really good in June. Yeah. So we've got.
I was commentating on his last fight. He's a good prospect. He looks like. I thought he was a bit hard done by, actually, if I remember rightly.
I think.
I thought it was a bit hard done by in his last fight. Because I thought he won it.
I think he could have been a bit busier, but he done well, and I think he learned a lot from that. To be fair, so I've heard about him in training at the moment. I heard about him like doing really well in training, so he's ready for March. So he'll be ready back on his home turf, like in Clapham Junction. So he's a good one to watch, Karen.
He's actually written and learned a lot from it, and I think he did. I thought he boxed pretty intelligently in that fight. I thought he used his range well. He was really composed. I thought it was more good than bad. So
100%.
Big up yourself, Fatal. Big up yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Pete's on the shows. Pete McDonough, he's on the shows. You know Pete, don't you, Wes?
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
He'll be there sharing his wisdom with everyone.
I've seen a Begum fighter. I'm looking forward to having...
Can't wait for her to come back as well.
Yeah, her fight was really good. Really enjoyable fight. Yeah. I mean, that was a brilliant women's fight, that was.
It's a great story with her and Dylan. You've got to get them on as a pair.
Yeah, they're coming on.
Husband and wife team.
Yeah, they're coming on for an Insta Live.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah,
I won't spoil it, but we've got a date penciled in.
I've just spoiled it.
But yeah, obviously, any fighters on here that do want to come onto the Insta Live, on the Gunman Insta Live, and you've got a story to tell, or you just want to call someone out, or you want to just piss someone off, DM me, follow me. And then DM me, and then we can always get you on onto my show so that you can sort of share your story and have a chat. We can chat boxing one evening.
Just saw Ellie Fricker. She's got to get back on. She was a great fighter.
Ellie Fricker. Yeah, what's happened to her? We need to see her fight.
She fought on your show at the O2, actually.
No, but not since, no?
No. And she can beat anyone. It's just what Ellie turns up. So, yeah, she's one of them. She'll fight and she'll kick herself like after it, but she's good. She's put in the work. She'll fight anyone as well. She's a great fighter, but sometimes she turns up, sometimes she don't.
Yeah,
she knows that. But
what about Begum fight versus Ellie Fricker?
I think they're different weights. It'll be a cracking fight.
That'd be a cracker.
We've got to get some more women titles out there this year as well. So there's only 2 out at the moment. So. Ellie will be back to get one, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure
that'd be good it'd be good to see Ellie lifting up some straps because she's got real commitment to the game.
Yeah,
good fighter. Record doesn't suggest how good she is, really.
Definitely one more than she's lost.
But that can happen. That can happen because she takes on anyone.
That's the thing. When you start taking probably fight.
Yeah, when you're picking and choosing, then you'll have a lovely record. When you're just fighting anyone, it can happen. You see it with Adam Smith at Top Dog. his record, he's got a lot of L's on there, but he's fighting savages, savage after savage after savage. So your record can be deceptive sometimes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, records are for DJs.
Pete just pointed out Matchroom are now using the Indigo the day after us, so I think we're going to share a ring. So we use the same people and all that. So I think they're going to leave our ring in for Matchroom.
Oh, really?
They were there on the 10th.
Just have to clean the canvas, the blood off the canvas.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be using our DKM canvas. Yeah, I don't think the sponsors will be too happy there.
We've got Jamie Porter saying, "I'll have anyone that can make the weight and won't pull out weeks out."
And I believe him. Them top dog boys, they pretty much fight anyone. To be fair, that's a good thing, and they're all in good fights. So the win record they have.
Yeah, as I said earlier, and Jamie's listening now. Is that I think his next fight is going to be tasty. I think that's going to be.
That's a good fight, yeah. But that's what Jamie needs. He needs to step up now. He's beat everyone he put in front of him, and I know that's what his team wants and what he wants. So it'll test him. He's another youngster as well, Jamie.
Yeah, he's been levels ahead of what position he's had. A bit like Triple M.
Yeah.
That last fight, he just, he just butchered the guy. He didn't even need to take a shower afterwards. You know what I mean? He probably could have just gone straight out to the clubs. Well,
we've had to go up to get them now, haven't we? We've had to go up north to get these boys down for them. Yeah, they've cleaned up round here.
Yeah, they've cleaned up round here. Yeah, absolutely cleaned up, haven't they? Yeah. So I mean, I think. Yeah, we've got some exciting fighters, and the standard is superb. A lot of people think of white collar as, man comes out the dog and duck, has one and done, one fight, he's drinking during his camp, has one fight and he's done. But it's far from that.
Yeah, 100%.
We've got some really good fighters.
Yeah,
on the roster.
We've got good ex-amateurs, ex-pros, people that will be amateur, people that will be pro.
Bare knuckle boxers.
Bare knuckle, exactly. So you've got a mix of everyone. Yeah. You've got heavyweight, Dan. Is he talking about me or is he talking about one?
So we've got Jamie Porter saying, I had a Liverpudlian 2 fights ago and ended up putting him down 2 times in the first. Having to get them
for me and MMA now. Yeah, that's it. We've already had to go Liverpool once for Jamie. Yeah. So, good. It's good.
Who's the cruiserweight champ? Is someone asking? Oh, you're going to test my mind here. Who's cruiserweight champ?
Well, the cruiserweight split up into a few divisions. Like there's 1993, Maximilian, obviously. Matt DeLute.
Is he cruiser or is he light heavy? I think he's light heavy, isn't he?
No, he's cruiser. He's in between. Yeah. He's in between. You got John Smythe bordering on 90. You've got a few, haven't you? You've put me in there, haven't you? Danny North has the.
He's got one of the belts, hasn't he? Yeah, he's got one of the belts.
Heavyweight champ. We've got John Smythe is the challenge, and he's fighting for the British against Owen Watkins. That's going to be a cracking fight as well. Owen is coach down in Wales there. He's rugby player. That's going to be a really good fight. Ibby's got a title at heavyweight. Yeah. And I'm sure Will and Kyle will be fighting for it as well later in the year.
Yeah, that's going to be absolutely ace, isn't it? Yeah, that's going to be absolutely ace. Yeah, cool. So, thanks for your time, Daniel. It's probably time to wrap it up. We've been a good hour, and I know you and I can talk boxing for another hour. No problems whatsoever. But just to recap, we've got a DKM Plush boxing show on February 9th. It's going to be Jordan Gale versus TBC as a main event, but there's some absolutely scintillating super fights on the undercard, mainly Triple M versus 22-0 Jay Malley. There's also Jamie Porter versus Radi Costu. On March the 24th, we've got a double header of super fights with Conor Gilley taking on the pound-for-pound champ Pierre Strutt. And then we also have Kane Corby, our P4P number 1, taking on vicious puncher Kai Christie. And then Kai Forder versus Will All Night Long, due for the summer showdown. So,
with Jack Jones making his debut. We can't forget Jack.
Yeah, do you want to announce that, actually? Do you want to announce that? Because that's only today, wasn't it?
grand, yeah, and we got him. Obviously, there's a bit of going on between him and Dapper, Joe Dapper Lush.
Yeah.
So Dapper will be there, and I think, yeah, as long as Jack gets through it, I think you might see him and Dapper coming up.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Yeah. So we've got an absolutely stacked card, a couple of stacked cards coming up.
Yeah.
That I think just about everyone can't wait to be involved in. And just as I said, to recap, our Fighter of the Year 2023, difficult choice, but Danny has named Connor Gilly 4-0 this year, or last year, I should say. So he wins Fighter of the Year, and the Coach of the Year went to Mark Fitch from Top Dog for his absolute conveyor belt of champions coming out of that gym. So we'll wrap it up. Good to see Alan has come out from under his rock.
Apparently, he was in the gym or something. Apparently, so he must have just left.
Is that you still talking? We could talk for days, Mr. Plush. Days. It's good to talk.
As well with Al, didn't we? So
yeah,
we've made his big announcement. Yeah, he should come on live now.
Yeah, come on in, Alan. You join in.
Yeah, he won't. But yeah, he don't like talking, does he?
Yeah. All right, no worries. Well, we'll wrap it up then. But yeah, as I said, if you're a new fighter looking for a good platform to box on, DM the DKM Plush boxing show, or if you've got any questions following this interview, message in the DKM Instagram page, and Danny here will get back to you with any inquiries. Thank you very much for your time, Danny.
Thanks.
Pleasure. It's really good to see you. Yeah, it's always good to speak to you. Thank you very much, and we shall see you soon.
See you soon. Nice one, Wes.
Take it easy, mate. Lovely.
Bye, mate.
Bye.